Hey, what's up motivators? Taryn here. Getting started running in your 30s isn't just as simple as just going out and running as many learn to run programs would lead you to believe. By the time you're in your 30s, your body has adjusted to being a little bit older. It's slowing down a little bit. You've probably spent a lot of time at a desk. Your body has adapted to a lot of things that will cause it to not have an easy time running. So just going out and running more or taking up a basic learn to run program is not going to actually overcome a lot of the challenges that are common when you start running in your 30s. In this video, we'll give you 5 critical steps to start running in your 30s. My name is Taryn Gazelle. In my 20s, I was overweight, unfulfilled, and couldn't even run to the end of the block. Over the following years, I found endurance sports, lost 65 pounds, won age groups, raced world championships, broke records, and trained and learned from some of the best athletes and coaches in the world. You too can use endurance sports to change your life and accomplish your fitness goals. You just need a system that's meant for us amateurs who want to be our best while feeling our strongest and healthiest. My company Motive offers that system, and I want to share some of the tips from it today. The first step to starting running in your 30s is starting with a simple run walk program. Our app, the Motive Training app, does ask athletes if they can run continuously for 30 minutes at a time. If you can't do this yet, you should start with a very simple learn to run program. This is typically a run walk program where you gradually build up the amount of running that you're doing at any one point in time continuously. What we do to get athletes started running is starting with a simple run walk program where you're starting with 1 to 2 minutes of running, whatever you're capable of doing within that range, and then have about a 1 to 3 run to walk ratio. So if you can run for 1 minute, then walk for 3 minutes, and then gradually over the course of 4 to 6 weeks, change that ratio. So increase the running by 30 seconds every single run that you go on, and decrease the walking by 30 to 60 seconds every single run that you go on. Over the course of 4 to 6 weeks, this is going to add up until you're able to run continuously for 30 minutes, at which point, congratulations, you can run. And this is where most learn to run programs stop. But this is where we say that if you're in your 30s or even 40s and you're learning to run, there are 4 additional things that you should do to overcome some of the common complications that bodies in our 30s and 40s have to overcome to be able to run well. Step 2 that you can start in conjunction with that Learn to Run program is that you do not want to ignore strength training for your core. As we get older, we spend more time driving, more time sitting. The more time we spend in that sitting position, the more our hips will shorten up, tightening up, causing our glutes to go to sleep and not be very activated. This will cause a very unstable core, and every single foot strike that you take running will be kind of wobbly, and it won't be as powerful as if you have a nice strong core. So taking up a basic strength training program, focusing on the core, even just 2 30-minute sessions a week will be tremendous for alleviating injuries, for reducing back pain, for making every single foot strike much more powerful so that with every single time you step off the ground, you're pushing yourself forward faster and further. This will also open up your body. You'll age a little bit slower with the degenerative effects of muscle loss and bone softening all being curbed by the addition of that strength training. You'll run better and you'll feel better for it. The third thing that you need to do is to pay close attention to your running form at the outset. You don't want to start running with bad running form, developing improper habits and bad muscle patterns. So what you want to do when you start out running, make sure that you are landing underneath your center of gravity, staying nice and tall, being very upright, and leaning forward from your ankles. What most people do is they might land out in front of their center of gravity, putting on the brakes. They also might lean forward from the waist. Both of these things are going to increase the likelihood of running slow and developing injuries from running. So how you can overcome this is by going on all of your runs, and at the start of every single run interval in the run walk program, start with bouncing on the balls of your feet underneath your center of gravity and then leaning forward consciously from your ankles. You'll start running with excellent run form and ingrain this in your mind and try to hold that good run form where you're running underneath your center of gravity, carrying this into your running, and the more you do it, the more it's going to seem natural to you. The fourth thing that you need to do to start running in your 30s is something that almost no other coach does, but we believe that it is so very important with the Motiv training method. This fourth thing is doing some very fast bursts of running. Once you've gone through the Learn to Run program and your body is able to actually handle running, and you've hopefully paired that with good run form and some strength training to make sure that your body is able to handle some running load, you want to do some fast bursts. And we're talking very fast, wind sprint fast kind of bursts. Why we like to include these is because as we go about aging in our 20s, 30s, and 40s, we just move slower and slower. We don't have many instances where we're pushing and we're activating our fast twitch muscle fibers to really activate speed. So because all of these fast twitch muscle fibers aren't used to firing, our body doesn't know how to move quickly. By doing some wind sprints of 10 seconds, 15 seconds, 20 seconds, really short but super intense bursts filled with huge amounts of rest of 3, 4, 5 minutes of very light jogging where you're recovering completely to get ready for that next fast burst is going to allow you to unlock a lot of speed that you won't be able to just train your way into. You need to get that neuromuscular connection between the brain and the legs turned on with these fast bursts. The fifth and final thing that you need to do to start running in your 30s and 40s is to have the right gear. A lot of people will recommend going to a running store and getting fitted for shoes. However, what tends to happen in running stores is they prescribe overpronation shoes or stability shoes or motion control shoes, very built up shoes, and it's part of a sales tactic. However, the fact of the matter is that the studies show that for beginner runners, the thing that they need from their shoes is to be allowed to move in your natural range of motion. This means having a fairly neutral shoe that isn't motion controlled or stability controlled or overpronation controlled, just a neutral shoe with a fairly light weight of about 7 to 9 ounces and a fairly low heel to toe drop of 0 to 9 millimeters. That shoe is going to allow your foot to move in its natural range of motion, which is going to allow your body to learn how to function efficiently for your natural biomechanics. Doing this will allow your body to build up the strength that you need and not fight a shoe that is trying to pigeonhole you into a certain way of running. Everyone has a different method that is their unique, best possible method, and a neutral shoe is going to allow your body to learn how to find this method quicker. Hopefully you found this helpful and running is made easier for you. One of the hardest things about taking up running is learning to run with a low heart rate. It's very critical to do, and it's one of the biggest things that can enhance your run performance. So if you want to dive into that, there's a video that we have put up that you can click on the screen and go learn how to lower your heart rate when running, and it'll unlock a huge amount of enjoyment in your running and speed. Later, motivators.